And hello there everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to the internet. Yeah, I think I've stolen that one from someone. Well, I'm going to carry on using it. I've got a chair behind me, hang on. Let me make that chair not behind me. What a way to start a stream off, eh? Oh well. How is everybody? Hope we're all well. There's a Nightbot in chat, there must be. I know that much. How's everyone's weekend been? Do let me know if you're about the place. Just let everyone know. My phone's rumbling. Let's let it rumble. It can stay rumbling. If you guys can hear it, that's fine. You can see how much I'm ignoring everyone. Okay, so I don't yet have a coffee with me. I think Minxie Rose is about to fix that problem. I hear the kettle on the go. I do have, at the moment I'm back on the orange juice. Hi there, Codebase Alpha, how are you doing? Hope you've had a good end of the week and a good weekend. Ready for work next week? That's for those of us that work in the week. I'm lucky there. I do get to do that. Okay. I think what we should do is probably jump straight into code pretty much. Or at least looking into what we're doing. So here is our bot. Here's the main. We've got something namespaced. We've got the optional command, the optional bot command, instead of it being a... Hang on. Is that really how this VS wants it formatting? Visual Studio's formatting is weird to me. Hang on. C++ format. Set default. Well, that's the default Clang formatting style. I don't know how to change C++ formatting in. How do we change C++ formatting in what's it? In here. Hang on. I think we're there. So when I paste do that, Clang format, default formatting style is Visual Studio. Okay, indentation. Do you know what? I'll play with this at a different time. How can I refactor this so commands are not part of the bot? Now that's interesting, Codebase Alpha, because that's kind of where I want to go, is I want the commands to come out of the bot. So far we've got a command is a function, which is literally just whatever it is. So, you know, command random is when someone types random, they get that. And we're always passing a body, a user, and a message sender. I think that was the end of the last stream, we were playing with that. However, we do have a small issue in that we had to deal with registering and exporting commands. So these two, the adcom and the sort of catch-all, are therefore commands that we've stored in the database. If we remember, if I go to DB browser, and I thank Minxie Rose very much for bringing in that mug of coffee. Thank you very much. It's got cold in, thank you. So it'll be a mug of coffee that I can drink reasonably soon as well. Anyway, if we go into the database browser and we have a look at the table commands, browse the data, these are kind of just static commands, so call and response style. I go exclamation point that one, and the bot returns that one. In fact, if we spin the bot up, let's do it without debugging for now. Because then hopefully we can... you know what? I could have done it with debugging and then done edit and continue. See, that'd be quite cool, getting decent edit and continue support working. Anyway, we're all fired up. So if we go back here, we've got one that says hi, and it's Gareth3 Hype. Hi chat, Gareth3 Hype. Now, Gareth3 Hype is my hype emote. It's my little yappy dog. So that's how the bot works so far. And that, as well as an add command, so let's say adcom, something like, I don't know, YouTube, please follow me, please. So if I add that command, you've got adcom sort of at the start, then the keyword YouTube, and then all of the rest of it is kind of what I want it to come back with. So having done that, if I now refresh this table, you'll see that YouTube is in there. Now that's handled by these two, I want to say functions, but they're not. And that's the big problem. So, why don't we have a look at abstracting this kind of registering of commands out into its own object? Now, this doesn't need to be the command repository, because we already have the command repository. And why is everything... Oh, I know why everything's in the wrong place, because I'm now using the preview version. So let's stick the Solution Explorer back where it used to live, back over there, let's say. So I'm not on about this command repository. This is the database command repository. We now want a command registry, if you like, or a command handler to some degree. I'm not sure what I want to call this yet, so we will probably change it. But if I say command registry, there, and yeah, we'll let Visual Studio do the creation of everything. Actually, let's kill those files. I wonder if I've missed a trick here. Oh, cancel, don't want to do that. I want to actually delete them. Yeah, delete them, because we'll probably bring them back as a class. No, there's no namespace there. Okay. I was wondering if it would add a namespace for us. But alas, that's not going to happen. We are going to remember to add namespaces from here on in. So let's go again with the namespace of GH, just because it kind of works. We can mess about with namespacing again in future. I think the idea that we've got Twitch underscore down here and command underscore here is quite a giveaway that what we should really be doing is having a command namespace and a Twitch namespace or something like that. You know, that could be database command repository and it could be a database namespace. There's a lot more tidying up that we need to do. Anyway, let's go and namespace in here as well, just to make sure that everything is as it should be. And what would a command registry do? Well, it needs to... let's do the private one first. I don't think we need to expose the map of commands publicly. I think we can use hooks into here to do it. So let's say stud map of stud string to stud string. And I am going to carry on calling it stud as Matt Godbolt seems to use the term stud, so I'm sticking with that. So let's say simple command. That's cool, and then I want this. Now, design decision time. Do we want this to be the only thing that knows about the database or not? As in, do we want the registry to be responsible for loading from the DB? So, void load from DB, void, to be honest, I don't know what else we want in there yet. Obviously, these need to be public. And I think well, hang on, stud function. We'll do something else as well soon. I'm thinking ahead. I'm getting quite a bit ahead of myself. So for now, And these are big giveaways that something is wrong in the hierarchy. Is I am going to have to reuse those. So that's a big sort of code smell. If I go to do Gareth, these need defining. In fact, they only need defining here, don't they? Nah, they need a global definition of some description. Globally define these. And to be fair, that could just be as simple as moving lines 7 and 8 here out of that namespace to globally define all of that. Although, to be fair, having it within the namespace might not be the worst thing in the world. So yeah, GHMessage sender is a stud function of, well, in F# we'd read that as a string const reference to an int. So at this point we need, actually these are in completely the wrong place. I've gone for the repository, not the registry. Whoa. I need to start getting these right. So in the registry we need these. And I've lost them because I pressed the wrong buttons. Yay! That's me tonight. So we've got those. Okay, so this does need to know about the Twitch user. That's fine. I'm not upset about that. And then this will need a command of add command and a command of execute simple command. Hi there, NL Respect. Condition. What's no, go on. I'm lost. I am very much lost there with what you're saying. Yeah, okay. I mean, we are just doing a little bit of refactoring now, so I appreciate that we have some tech debt to pay off. Let's get it paid off. Now, these being commands being a standard function, I wonder if we can now. Now, this is interesting. Can I do I don't know, something like this? Can I do command registry add command, and that's going to be Control Z that, void of that, and then we'll go standard string const reference body Twitch user and message sender send message. And what's this going to say? Declaration is incompatible. So we can't necessarily do that. But what we could do is have the implementation of it declared like this, I suspect. Then again, this kind of defeats the object. Let's have a look here. So that's now moaning that it has no member. That's reasonable. The const ref that oh yeah. Let's put that where it belongs. So essentially we're going to have to do these, this add command and whatever, fully, aren't we? Unless we do just go and do something like this. Well, hang on, I've already got it declared up here. Let's just do the decent and create the declaration there. Cool. Let's also do the execute simple command impl. With the yeah, go on. Let's fill these in. Let's get the definitions in there. Definition of that in there. Let's get a constructor in. Which for now, all we're going to do. No, explicit type is missing. How do we just create it as a constructor? I'm sure actually we've got it. Oh, yeah. Command registry. That makes more sense, and again, we'll get that definition in there. And there, hi Danny Cron, how are you doing? Just about sort of spooling up here, creating the command registry. And I think in theory I should be able to do something like add command equals add command impl. And then the same kind of thing here. Do these need to be function pointers then? Operand types are that, which I think is reasonable. Does it need to be an address or something? This is odd. So that's a command, and that's an add command impl. I'm not too bad, thank you. How are you, Danny Cron? I'm going to have a look at stud function and well, just stud function on its own. So what are we saying? So let's have a look first off. So there's a struct foo. We can store free functions, we can store lambdas, we can store the results of a call to stub bind. We can store a call to a member function, and it's ampersand, and then okay, so registry add command impl. Why is this not happy? Because add command is a command which is a void string Twitch user message sender. So void string Twitch user message sender. So that should work, my theory says. I just wonder if VS needs to catch up a little bit, and if I just need to do a rebuild here. Let's get rid of the warnings for now. Never a fan of doing that, but alas, we shall. Okay, so no equals operator found, which takes a right-hand operand of type yada yada yada. Or there is no acceptable conversion. Where clearly I would assert that that's not quite true. I would suggest that this shouldn't be an issue. That's a thing. And again, if we just remove that, I'd say that that should also work. Because add command is that stud function. And the add command impl is a function with the same with exactly the same signature. As a member. So how do we do this? What are these suggesting? FP my phone. Okay. Can't go from there to there. Okay. So you need to bind it. It takes that as well. Okay. So we do a stub bind. That makes more sense. So what's the signature of bind in this case? It takes... I'm not going to say what it takes, is it? Oh, that's even weirder. Let's go back to CPP reference. And go there. Stub bind. By the way, I am now using the new version of Microsoft Edge, the Chromium based one, and it seems to work reasonably well. So hopefully, touch wood, the canary branch of this will hold out. So stub bind takes... Oh. Okay, so it takes a function and arguments, with the unbound arguments replaced by placeholders. So we're essentially saying bind that with this, and I don't think we need to fill anything else in. Right, what's our problem here? Add command impl. Let's go back to here. So now we might need the placeholders. So let's stuffy using that in there. Say using P equals that. I don't know, just using that then. I think we're safe to say we're going to use those placeholders. And then we go 1, 2, 3. And I don't see why that's now not working. Okay, that works. So that's how we get an add command in. And this is how we get a execute simple command impl in. Okay, that's interesting. So what we've done, just to sort of recap on what's happening here, a command is a function that just takes those 3 arguments. However, what we're doing here, because it's a member variable, a member function, this function looks like it's the same, but what it actually is it's got an implicit parameter of command registry pointer or a reference. So that's what you've actually got. I think Python makes that explicit. So the function signatures didn't match up. So we're just going to bind with itself so that essentially this is partial application, but C++y. So we'll have a little look at what this does in a bit, but we've now got two functions that we can use in theory and pull out of our main file. So let's pull out the execute simple command one, which is literally that. That can go in there, and okay, same transforms as we've done before. That's just body. That's also just body. Commands is now simple commands. That's just body. These are simple commands. This is again just body. And in theory, that now is reasonably likely to work. Well, in itself, we need to do more. So the next thing that we'll do is move the add-in of the command to the registry. So that was all of that. We can now kill that off. User must have a pointer type. Oh yeah. Yeah, that was because we were working with optionals. We're not anymore. Messages body no longer needed. Bot command, we need to steal that back. We'll grab that into here as well. I just wonder if that should be in its own header file at some point. Repo is our command repository, so let's throw that as a private member on here. Command repository. And we don't yet have that included, so let's include the header file there. Commands, that's going to be simple commands. And apart from bot command doing the loading, oh, no default constructor exists for class GH command repository. Command repository is constructed with a file name. Okay, so the load from DB idea isn't needed because we will do that automatically. Let me kill that off as well then. Add the file name in. That now doesn't match. It does now. So repo equals command repository file name. Ah, that's deleted, is it? And repository file name. Does that now work? If I do a compile, the one thing that will cry we already know about is bot command on line 15. I'm happy that that's going to be upset as long as everything else is reasonably fine. It's not. We've got issues left, right and centre. The binds aren't finding overloaded functions. That's something that we need to look at. We'll definitely look at that. Illegal operation on bound member function expression. Wonder if that's a little more like it there. Again, this is highlighting my how much I don't know C++. So if people do wish to backseat code and backseat game, please feel free. In fact, let me get my Twitch all up to standard here. Let's do it there. Okay, so the rest of that compiled. I'm just going to quickly go into that dashboard. Oh no, everything is there. More refactoring, more concerns that need to be separate. Catchy title. And right now, let's before we fix anything else here, let's send some thanks out to Calvin A. Allen, Turbo Nautilus, Kim Philpotts, Upgrading Dave, Rambling Geek, I Am Not Myself, and Clarkio. Thank you for the host. Anyone that's across on the host, feel free to come and join the channel. I'm only reading chat from my channel. And also, if you've got anything like an exclamation mark, referrer equals raid or host, if you get rid of that and refresh, it counts towards my stats. And if you would like to count towards my stats, that's how you do it. If you'd like to not count towards them, that's absolutely fine too. Hello there, Joker. How are you doing? Yes, time zones, eh? They're great fun. Good morning to you there. I shall use your time zone while addressing you. So, bot command, we need that. Now, that was in our main.cpp. And it's this thing here. So let me pull that out into a do you know what? Let's just have a header file with the free function in it. Let's call it bot command for now. And I think it needs to be in a namespace here. Let's get the includes. I don't want boost optional. Let's just have standard optional. Let's include string and format this according to Visual Studio standards. Okay, bot command identify not found. Well, that's now going to be fine because we're going to do the hash include. In fact, let's just rebuild this so that we see all the correct errors, and then we'll do chill day in bed. Chill day in bed sounds good. Joko, are you Sunday or Monday now? This is an important question to ask. Let me just include that header file there. Let me include it. The rest of them aren't going to have an issue. Note there. Okay, that should now all be sorted for now. You're an hour in front. Cool. So it's 9:30 of an evening. Cool. Subs some coffee, because coffee is there to be subbed. And let's now have a look and see what's going to happen. Will the rebuild work? Rebuild all started. I don't think this will work yet. I think there's probably still more command repository stuff in. Link error. Hi there, Turbo Nautilus. How are you doing? Thank you for the host, by the way. I've spotted.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Thank you for that subscription, Turbo Nautilus. And yes, for those with Prime, if you want to subscribe with the Twitch Prime or Amazon Prime subscription, it costs you nothing and you're giving me Amazon's money. Hey there, Robert Tables. How are you doing? We've got a lot less sunlight than it looks like. It's actually getting close to being dark out there, but yeah, I can see what you mean. The miracles of bad lighting, I think, there. You can see I've got a light sort of on one side of me as well. I ought to do a bit more. Oh, more soldering on a new keyboard. You are probably somebody I would like to speak to because I want to upgrade from a keypad with cherry browns to something that's equally quiet but got more feel to it. Essentially, I want the feel of cherry blues back but without the noise. Can you recommend a switch, and can you recommend a keyboard solution that's not stupid money? Yeah, the auto host feature is wonderful, isn't it, Turbo Nautilus? And do you know what? Whether you have viewers coming or not, just thank you for hosting me, so that if you do get someone through, they come through to us. You know, I always thank people who are nice. I think I think it's a nice thing to do, and I think you're being wonderful. So once again, thank you very much. You have suggestions for sure. Do I have a Discord? Do I have a Discord? Hang on a second. I can answer that reasonably quickly because I can poke all the Discords in chat. So yes, I do. In fact, I also have a Twitter. It's also in that social link. And for anybody else who has got a Prime sub, let me just poke that button as well. Because, hey, I've got a Stream Deck out to remember to use it occasionally. Right, so can't open the file, so that's a link error. The link error is because we've already got the bot running, actually. That's what that is. So I will kill my bot. We'll leave Nightbot running. And in main, I know that we're still doing the loading in here, aren't we? So we must be loading. Hang on, where am I? Sorry. We must be loading our. Yeah, repo.load commands. Well, we now don't need that, do we? So that can disappear. We'll swap instead for going command registry and because I can never remember how to spell my own name, believe me, for those that weren't there during that stream, I did have a problem where spelling my own name was proven difficult. So let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. We do need to include the correct header file. We can get rid of the command repository header file, I assert, because we shouldn't need it. All of those can go as well. So why is command registry now moaning? Because it's a GH one, isn't it? And that shouldn't be that. Visual Studio's not quite getting this completely correct. But hey, it is a preview version. So we've now created a registry. And here we need to push back the registry command. So we need to add the add command and the simple command, the execute simple command. At this point, we now don't have that state stored in here. Let's clean this up a little bit, or at least show how terrible it is in a more reasonable way. Oh yeah, that's a auto indent thing. Okay. So we've now got these. So these are for the simple commands. This is registering each of those. Now what's interesting is that this is happening within that while true loop. I think that's wrong. I think I've goofed there, and this needs to be done before we get up to before we get into the while loop. So, Joko, I'm in a preview version of 2019. I'm in the 16.1 preview 3 at the moment. So, yeah, I do like running the previews on stream because then if something breaks, I can usually sort of blame it on something else. So, what we've done is we've shrunk our main loop down quite a lot. So, it's still big, and there's still a command in there I don't like, but that's fine. We can deal with it. And what we can do is, once again, you know the state hiding trick we've just done? We can kind of redo that. So let's have a look at a throttled command. And this is where we go, add a class. Let's call it a throttled command. And again, we'll namespace it to avoid polluting the global namespace. Although I do sort of question how necessary that is if everything's going in the same namespace anyway. But, you know, we've got a way of dealing with that if and when we need to. So, in effect, what I'd like a throttle command to do, well, it needs a private seconds to cool down. Oh, what is it? Actually, we can do something here. Doesn't C++ essentially have a unit of measure style thing? I don't think it's called units of measure. But it is something similar. No, that's a library. That's not it. We've been discussing about custom literals, haven't we? User-defined literals. So, yeah, we can use user-defined integer literals. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for us to try doing. So, let's say, there's the underscore W. Can we use a type based on that? So, can we suggest that we can do autos? Stud literals is there in Chrono. Okay, that's kind of handy actually. That's really handy. Used for side effects and all of that malarkey. Okay. This is very interesting to be fair. But we'll play with that another time. So we've got the private, we'll need some public stuff as well. One of those things will be the command. And again, here's our problem. So, where's the command actually defined? Let's go there. So this is the point where we do need to cut that lot out, add a new header file. Not a class, just a header file. Add new item, header file, command definitions. We'll namespace it because, again, why not? We'll just stick that lot in there. The functions are we definitely need to include those. Twitch user, we definitely need to include. And now, well, we can ignore that for now. Registry's going to have an issue, I think. Or if it doesn't, it should have. Let's say, let's just call it CMD for now. Why not? So that now is include there. Main.cpp doesn't want that in either. If we do a rebuild now, in fact, you know what we haven't done? We haven't run this up since we've had this stuff working, have we? So let's slow down a little. Let's add those. Why does the dot now not want to play? Ah, yeah, because we need that to be correct as well. So let's have another go at rebuilding this, because I don't trust the errors window works particularly well, in that it's not that quick. Add command unknown override specifier. What does that even mean? Oh, okay, hang on. We're in the namespace, so that should be legitimate. But that include hasn't gone in. We need to include command definitions.h there to make that work. And then build again. Hang on. So that build succeeds. Okay. So the C++ compiler isn't the most helpful. That's good to know. Let's at least run this up now that, I mean, the throttle command's in a state where it kind of works. But let's say that I use the hi command there and nothing. Oh, ho, dear. That's not working. Right, we need to debug this, don't we? Let me just quickly... Let me think about this just for a moment. So, we can go to main, let's debug into this somewhere. So even exclamation mark hi isn't working. Well, the first thing we should do is try one of the other ones. So let's try a hard-coded command. Okay, so that's working, that's fine. Joko's found an awesome plugin for Unity. It plays elevator music while compiling. It's a pity that you need that, I'm afraid. But yeah, you probably do. So that being said, I think we've got a couple more auto hosts come in. So thank yous go to Viking Coder and Yakpie as well. And I am not myself. Thank you for the host. So what we've got the problem with at the moment is that registry. Let's have a look. So registry add command. Let's go and have a look at where these are done. We've got the registry command repository file name. Do you know what we never seem to do though? Command repository file name. There's that gets load commands. We've never done that, have we? So that will never work. We will, in fact, let's not. Let's do command registry let's have a load commands in here. That can be void. And that literally just goes to... Okay, that was the wrong one, wasn't it? So we need to go into command registries, CPP file. Essentially, this didn't work because I didn't wire everything up. Where's the command registry header file as well? Where is that header? It's there. So load commands is simply going to be just going simple commands. Hang on, let me at least grab, make sure that we remember. Repo dot load commands. There we are. That should work a little bit better now, shouldn't it? Let's give it a go. Okay, so random should still work, and now high should work. It doesn't seem to. Add com foo bar. That also may or may not have worked. Let's find out. And that worked, but the high command didn't. Okay, that's a thing. And that's probably because while we declared it, we didn't actually call it. So let's, first off, let's kill off these two commands that we don't need to use and write changes. Always important, I keep forgetting to do that. What we didn't do though, ladies and gentlemen, because I goofed, is it's all well and good us going and declaring our, by the way, that can go now because that's not where it needs to be. The scourge of comments. We never actually go and load the existing commands in, do we? So that should now work. I should have loaded the commands, and the high command now works again. Excellent. So that's an improvement. It actually works. So, you can tell it'll be break time in a minute after I've just done that. So let's go back to our throttle command. It has a command, it has a cooldown. Everything else we can kind of give it at the time, can't we? We need a command impl as well. So that needs to again be, let's pinch the, what's it from here? The signature. So, yeah, it was only orange squash. That's the curse of being diabetic, people. CMD impl. That's a void because that always will be. And we also need, well, we need a semicolon there. We need a constructor here. That probably should take a cooldown. That we can then go, you know what, let's create that. Let's go across there. Let's suggest that cooldown is cooldown. And that squash. Concentrate, I think it can be called in other places. Yes, I've played the sport squash. I think cordial's another name for it, although cordial is the kind of reception that you get. when things are reasonably nice. I thought, anyway. Let's redo our bind trick. So command impul, and that's again throttled command impul. This 1, 2, 3, and again we need to go using stirred placeholders. Oh yeah, using namespace to make that work, and that's a very simple constructor dealt with. Variable cooldown is uninitialized. I disagree. I completely disagree that that's uninitialized. I'm pretty convinced it is. Incidentally, that using namespace would be better served there. Build, rebuild. Damn, I've just done a rebuild. That's going to rebuild everything and take a little bit longer. Because it's not using the precompiled headers. It's a bit of a pity, isn't it? Whoa, unresolved external. Here's unresolving externals. Command impul, yada yada yada. Wow, throttled command impul. Let's just give it a... No, the bot isn't still running. What we've done is we've got a declaration in the header file, and we haven't defined it. So if I go to throttled command.cpp, we never even define that one. Yeah, what this is it always does the to automatically close the console when debugging stops. It automatically keeps it running, so you don't have to put the essentially the CM whatever at the end or the system console read line. No, we don't. I don't have the new terminal. This machine needs to be on 1903 or later, and I'm not on 1903. I'm on 1809. I haven't run this up on the. I haven't run the Insiders program on this because I don't really want to. So the throttled command, well actually I'm doing something a bit wrong here. I think a throttled command should actually take in a command and a cooldown. Let's rename it for now to horn command, because more things need to change here before we can have it as a generic one. Let's not try and push the point. That might be a later on kind of thing. So let's and do a quick build. Hopefully everything should. No, everything hasn't worked. On command.h can't be found apparently. I disagree. But okay, whatever you want to say on that one. What has gone wrong there is that needs to be... That actually ought to be the member. So that should now work a lot better, and it does. Let's go from main. Let's do again what we've done before here, which is to cut that out of there. Go into here, paste it in. Check for the body, check if we're a mod. So we need a clock and a last horn. So, and that duration cast. Now the duration cast. So we do need to here construct a few more things. That's fine. We're pretty happy to do that. Oddly enough, now this argument can disappear completely. And we do have this whole setting up of the clocks and the horns. So let's do something here. Let's again pull that out of there, dropping it into there. System clock, last horn, both of those actually need to be private. So let's drop those into our, well, into there really. Okay. Let's just for now within here go using namespace stirred chrono. Again, probably not the best thing to do. In fact, probably can't do it there. Okay, let's say that we can't. At this point, we can go. We've got those commands. We now need to go. Horn command. Horn. Give it a timeout of 30 seconds, which is what we've said before. Horn command, is that not in GH? It is. So we need to import the header file. Why is VS not picking that up? Never mind, I've picked it up. So there's the horn command with a 30-second timeout on it. So let's get this all set up now. And I think the big thing we need to do there is just go cooldown in there. And again, change that to cooldown. Change that to cooldown. And I think, realistically, we're done. Play sound, expands to play sound A. That, I don't see how that can work without an include windows in there. So let's build it and prove that I'm right. Or if I'm wrong, show that I'm wrong. Okay, apparently I'm not right. So let's fire up the local. It might be because it's in the PCH anyway. It's in the pre-compiled headers. So we don't need to bother doing it. We could probably, and let me do it. The horn. Okay, so it's moaning that I can't do it at the moment. Is Minxie Rose in chat? No, I don't think she is. I don't think I've got a moderator in chat to test this out with. So, do you know why that's not working? Haven't wired it in. Horn command. If we stick that in there, we might have more chance. So it's wired in now. I hit the horn and it works. I hit it again and it tells me no. Okay, that's cool. So how about we say that we have it as a short stream tonight, and what we've done is managed to pull out a lot of the commands. So we've now got a main loop that's relatively short. I think that's a very good refactoring. I think we've got a very good setup there. So, let's say, is there anything else we really need to do tonight refactoring wise? The whole bot command being out there is a bit odd. That's not even in a namespace, is it? It's in an anonymous one. So let's at least namespace that up to some degree. No, I don't need to, do we? Do you know what? I think we're going to say that it's only an hour and a bit stream, but I'm not feeling particularly well anyway. I'm feeling pretty, not great, as you can probably all tell. So let's call it there. Let's go and find someone to raid. I shall do that on the screen that you guys can't see. Twitch TV, Teams, Team, Live Coders. And let's pass some love on to, I think, Pseudo Kid. Or actually, do you know what? We often get hosts from the Michael Jolly. So let's go back there. Let's give him a bit of a boost, shall we? So I will hopefully see everybody soon. I will be back on Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday. Not going to bother too much. In fact, let's do it quickly. Let's do the raid call as normal. So, remember the raid calls. Let's go, and I will see everybody on Tuesday night. Sorry it's been a short one. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And let's get ourselves across there.